Hey, peace and blessings, y'all. All right. Peace and blessings. Let me go ahead and write this on here. So, how y'all doing today? How y'all feeling? I'm back. The internet tried to, oh no, this is the electricity. Electricity tried to ruin my life. Peace, peace, peace. So, today we're going to be talking about the violence that has been systematically put into our society against our pum pums. Okay, violence against the vagina. So we're gonna be talking about that today. I'm just trying to orient myself because I'm going live on YouTube for the first time, and I want to make sure that both of my videos look good. So I might have to adjust where and how I have this phone camera. Hold on a second, y'all. And don't mind me. I just had a little idea, so I'm praying that it works because I really want to be looking in one direction rather than two. Because my mind don't work like that. I gotta stay oriented. All right, that's kind of high. Although I'm sure there's a way I can lower it. Oh, I know what to do. See, that's one thing with um, just life in general. A lot of times we get hasty and frustrated, and then we try to get mad at ourselves and get mad at people. No need to get mad. Just take your time and get yourself set up. So let me see if I can get this how I want it. Hold on, y'all. I used to have a little stand, but I broke the little piece that goes on top of it. So now I have this big stand. One more minute. This is kind of high up still. I'm thinking I might just have to put it back where I had it and just, hey. I guess I should have practiced this earlier. That way I could have it ready to go. But here we are, right in the moment, live and direct. And sometimes things are not perfect, but it's okay. Let me see how this looks. But I'm gonna be looking way up in the sky. All right, so y'all just gonna have to look at me from up there. And then I'm just gonna focus here because this is my main video for editing purposes. Y'all know being an entrepreneur, you have to be flexible. But as long as y'all can hear me, y'all can see me, I'm happy. As long as those two things are happening. Here we go. Get right in front of me. Yeah. So, yes, peace and blessings, y'all. It's a goddess in this house. If you see her pointer out, I was thinking about that earlier because we grew up on house music, and I automatically jumped into the original lyrics, and I'm like, "It's some hoes in this house," and I'm like, I can't be saying that to my people because y'all not hoes, y'all goddesses. So it's a goddess in this house. If you see her, point her out. It's a goddess in this house. If you see her, point her out. Hey, I know that's right. I'm gonna do the remix, y'all. We're gonna have a whole new house music, and it's gonna be saying all types of goddess stuff. And then we're gonna be talking about some pussy talk. But it's gonna be all positive vibes, no degrading, none of that. So peace and blessings. Welcome to Goddess Wellness Wednesday. We're gonna be talking about how society has been strategically using violence against our vaginas, against our pussies, wombs, all of that. And why I was even prompted to do this is because I follow this one doctor on Instagram. I forget his name, but he put up a post. He's an anesthesiologist, so he deals with pain management, putting people to sleep for surgery and stuff like that, anesthesia. And he was highlighting how when women go to get an IUD placed, so for those of you who don't know what an IUD is, it's a form of contraceptive so that women have a lesser chance of getting pregnant. And it's an actual little tiny plastic device that has hormones in it, that has like the hormones come out in a slow period of time. So they're supposed to last, I think it's about between 5 to 10 years, something like that. They last a good amount of time. And they have to put it directly inside the uterus. All right. So the same way we have our gynecological exam where the doctor is looking inside the vagina is the way that they put it in there. But you guys, they have to clamp the cervix and then insert the IUD. So what he was saying is that really they should use some type of anesthesia or pain blocker medicine. They're supposed to use some type of pain blocking medicine to avoid the pain in the women. And they're not doing that. So this brought me to the mindset of saying, you know what? Women need to be aware of all the ways that there's violence directed towards our womb, directed towards our vagina, our pum pum, our pussy, whatever you want to call her, okay? Our reproductive system, even our breast. And that was one of the ways we, I do. Okay, so for those of you who know me, I am an aspiring doctor, so I'm studying to be an MD. And I also do wellness work in the community. So I've facilitated women's rites of passage programs, which are very spiritually oriented. We talk about crystals and sage and all that good stuff. And then, of course, I have my scientist side. All right. And there's a place for both of them because technology is good. We just have to know how to use it. We have to be educated on how to use it. And because we're not aware most of the time as to what these practices are supposed to be, we're just following blindly and allowing people to do things to us that do not make sense, and it harms us in the long run. Okay? So, okay, I was just checking to see how my volume look on this thing. So that's one of the ways that there's violence against the womb. For whatever reason, and I don't know why, because I'm not in that particular institution of medicine, but for some reason, the doctors are not using, most doctors are not using local anesthetics to make sure that women are comfortable when they're having their IUDs placed. So I'm about to adjust this because this camera is kind of weird. I wish it was long ways. Because I want my shirt to show up. I know it's showing up there, but it's not showing here. Y'all got to see the Pink Nectar logo. All right, I'm gonna leave it alone. And let me get serious because I think sometimes when I be giggling, that's just me. Sometimes when I'm having conversations, I'm always laughing. But let me get serious, okay? So the entire institution of obstetrics and gynecology was founded and researched by men. And over the years, women were able to um, go to medical school and become gynecologists along the way, right? But that was after the research was done. That was after the different instruments and tools were put in place, and there's certain practices. So, me as a woman, I've seen these things being done firsthand. I've seen IUDs placed, I've seen C sections, I've seen colposcopies, I've seen hysterectomies, all types of stuff, okay? I've seen it all. And what I got from it is that that's not for me. I don't want to be doing that to women. I rather teach I rather teach y'all how to change your lifestyle, upgrade your lifestyle, relax, get more rest, take some herbs, eat a cleaner diet, a plant-based diet, and do things to pour into yourself. I rather teach y'all how to do that than to just be like, oh, take this medication, and if it don't work, then come back and then we'll schedule your surgery. No, I'm not doing that to y'all because I know that most of what we go through as women is preventable and curable through lifestyle changes. All right, whether you think so or not, your lifestyle can change a lot, even when you have cancer. Okay, there's some powerful herbalists out here that are making some major moves. So we are not without. So that's one of the ways that we have violence against our vaginas. Is through the subjugation of those doctors. Um, I've seen where women, I've seen where women have become guarded. So they have pain in their cervix during intercourse or what is it called? Tensing of the pelvic floor muscles and the vaginal wall because of different types of traumas. Going to the gynecologist can be very traumatic, especially if you're not ready or you don't know what to expect. So, if your doctor is not taking the time to explain what's happening, you can get up and leave. You can ask, how is this procedure going to go? What are you going to do? What are you going to use? I've never done this before. Can you give me a moment before you decide to place that thing inside my vagina? Like, you can have this conversation with your doctor. And if you feel that they're not really at the pace or up to par that you want, you can just say, you know what, I'm not comfortable with this. And you can walk out. All right. You can choose somebody else. You're the one hiring them. So, yeah, ladies, IUD placement should not hurt. Getting a pap smear is not supposed to hurt. And if you're getting some type of STD testing, you should be getting results before you start taking any medication. All right? Don't let them start giving you stuff and you don't know exactly what's going on with you. I've seen where the doctor made the mistake of giving yeast infection medication to a patient and they did not have a yeast infection. That's malpractice. So this particular patient came in complaining of whatever, the itching, the discharge, and all this kind of stuff. And the doctor's like, oh, okay, here you go, and prescribed a monostat. All right, so women know what monostat 7 is. So then the patient used the item, used the medication. It made the situation worse. So there was more discharge. Went back to the same doctor and was like, hey, this is not working for me. I don't know what's going on. At no time did the doctor do any testing. You can test to see if it's yeast and you can test to see if it's a STI. And really, it should work the first time if it's yeast. That doctor gave that patient the same prescription and the patient used it and it did not work. So this particular patient ended up going the herbal route and using herbs, but never knew what was really going on with them. So if something is going on with you, make sure your doctor is actually taking the time to do some testing to ensure they know what they're treating. You should not be taking any medication, regardless of what situation you're in. And specifically with womb care, you should not be taking any medication if you don't have testing done. Okay? Antibiotics are very specific. And if you're taking too much, you can have a resistance to the antibiotics. All right? You know what a resistance is? It's not going to work for you. Then you have to try something else. And that can be very dangerous over time. So we want to make sure, sorry, I had to see if the door was closed. You want to make sure that you're getting testing done if you feel like something is going on with you. And of course, if you have questions, y'all can DM me. You can send me an email. You can go to my website, pinknectar.life. Find me however you, whichever whichever avenue you want to use. Find me so that you can get your questions answered, because sometimes the doctors don't answer those questions. So, why I think that some of these practices by these medical professionals are violence against women is because of the origins. All right, so there's been documentation and there's books that are describing the experimentation that they did to Black women in order to figure out how to do certain procedures. Okay, so that's one. And then two, what makes you think you could be digging and poking and that our vagina doesn't have any sensation? So, one thing that I was saying is that we go through a lot of studying. We study the entire anatomy book. The anatomy book is this big, y'all. The anatomy book is big, and we go look at cadavers. Okay, cadaver is a person who is deceased and they donate their life to science so that we can look around inside their bodies and look at their organs and their nerves and all different parts of the body. We can see that. Hold on. So we know that there are bundles of nerves in certain areas. We know that. We know that women have sensation when they have sex. Like, there's so many different things. There's a lot of stuff that we look at. And just common sense, like, okay, that's why people have sex, is because it feels good, right? Duh. And why does it feel good? Is because we have nerves down there. Why does it hurt or why does it hurt? I'm going to put quotations. Why does it hurt when women have children? Because we have nerves all throughout our reproductive system. It is highly sensitive. Why? Because there's a lot that goes on down there, and we have to be able to communicate with our womb and our conscious mind. It's not by accident that the Creator has created us this way. And we know that when we're training in medical school, because the book is this thick, and you can't move on to the next level if you don't study your anatomy. And we go through the physiology of the body, and we go through it extensively. And the physiology book is bigger. All right. So there's no excuse. That's just the common practice. That's just the culture. So that's my second reason for saying that these things are violence against women. All right. I've had a personal experience where when I had my first son, for whatever reason, the doctor thought that I was tearing and that it was a good idea to cut the perineum. All right, that's called an episiotomy. So some women have experience where they're tearing, and And this is because I wasn't in the correct birthing position. All right, I know that for a fact. Um, so to prevent an obscure or a strange or a really bad tear, she just cut the area so that the baby could pass through easier. All right, fine. That didn't really feel like anything. It just felt like a little pull, like, ooh, that was weird. But then when she was doing the stitches after the baby was born, she said out loud, "Oh, this area isn't numb," and continued to push the needle through and make the last stitch. All right, so I was there yelling, "Shit!" And then she had the nerve to tell me not to curse. And because I'm Puerto Rican and Jamaican from Chicago, my mind automatically went into, I need to kick this bitch away from me. But luckily, my legs were up in these things and I was just tired. So I just turned my head to the side and just was like, I'm suing these people. I'm suing them. I didn't know nothing about suing. I didn't even have the strength to do it, y'all. That was sad. But it was a very bad experience. And to me, that was violence. All right. We don't need to use violence. I've seen where um, interns are doing the same thing. And I'm like, you need to get some more lidocaine because that hurts her. And then they're looking at me like, all right, Guadalupe, get it for me. I'm like, sure thing. I don't have a problem doing that because that's not how we treat people. We're not animals. We're having babies. We're bringing life into this world. Have some kind of consideration. We are a divine portal. Have some consideration and respect for these pussies. All right? So, yes, that's the first area that I want to talk about where violence is used against our wombs, our vaginas, our pussies. So give me a thumbs up, y'all. Give me a heart. Something in the chat. Communicate with me. Y'all got any questions? Y'all like what I'm talking about? Share it. Share. Please share this live with your friends, your sister, your auntie, your mama, cousin, whoever it is, because we need this information all over the place. All right. A lot of us need these informations yesterday because we're out here suffering and we're out here doing things to ourselves that don't make any sense. So let me do my introduction. Peace and blessings. I am Zen, the organic goddess. I am a women's wellness coach and the CEO of Pink Nectar. And we are here. We are here to change the way women's wellness is approached through holistic programs, workshops, natural body products, and free information for y'all to get yourselves together and to be aware of what's going on with our bodies and how people perceive us as women. All right. All right. So the other area that I see as a form of violence is the marriage system. So y'all looking at me like, what's she talking about? Yes, I said it, the marriage system. So the marriage system was originally like the current Western marriage system is designed as a form of slavery. It's a form of slavery. Everything that it's based on is a form of slavery. Even the terminology that's used, y'all need to look up these words. So people are calling themselves husband and wife and all this stuff, and they don't even know what those words are. So you really should be looking up words in the dictionary before you start using them. All right? So I'm gonna let y'all do that on your own because you're intelligent. But to be calling yourself a husband and a wife is putting yourself in the position of slavery. All right? There's other titles that we can use, like goddess and god. All right? And you can choose your own names. So why is a woman Why does the woman have to why does the woman have to change her last name? All right. So my take on it, what I've seen, what I've read, is that she is now in the possession of the man. She is a an asset or the property of the man. So now she has to have his last name. Okay. And then the children have the same his last name because they're also property of the man. Ladies, how the hell did we get into that situation? To me, that's a form of violence. Why do I need to change my name for us to be together? If this is a partnership that's based off of love and understanding and growing our families and creating community, like what does changing my name have to do with any of that? And then why we didn't just choose a new name? Why we couldn't choose our own family name? All right, think about that. So I find that to be a form of violence, especially because a lot of guys do not know anything about caring for or the design or anything about women and children and having a family, which is really annoying. I was going to say unfortunate, but it's actually very annoying because then it becomes a sense of entitlement like, oh, I'm a man, so I'm supposed to have a woman. I'm supposed to have um, kids and all this kind of stuff. What if she doesn't want to have children? So we're going to degrade her now because she doesn't want to have kids? Come on. Not everybody needs to be having children. Not everyone wants to have children. Okay? So, and then when we get to the other aspects of sex, here we go. I didn't even finish my sentence. When we get to the other aspects of marriage, and specifically about sex, there becomes a sense of entitlement there. Oh, we're married, so we're supposed to have sex. Why? You don't have to do anything that you're not ready to do or that you're not interested in. Okay? It don't matter if you're married or not. You can just say, no, no, thank you, not right now. I'm good. And why? Because it's your body and you have dominion and control over your body. Being in a marriage does not take that away at all. So I don't know where people get those ideas from, but that becomes the forms of violence that women are subjected to. Okay, the other thing about marriage is that it creates a perception that every man is supposed to have a woman just like that. And there's no selection process, there's no natural selection process. The woman body is the production house. The woman takes care of a lot of things, but namely producing people and things. Okay? So, why is it that he gets to choose what her body is doing? Who said that that was correct? No. Okay, when we look in nature, the woman or the female is selecting. So, when we look in nature, the females are selecting. They select the best male. Okay? And sometimes those males have to prove that they're the best. And these are things that we're not taking into consideration. I've had situations where I was in a relation with, oh, Jesus, peace. Okay, so I've been in a relationship with people. So, one particular relationship, this man was trying to control every aspect of my being, even down to when I was eating. I'm like, hey, man, I'm not ready to eat. Get out of my face. After 3 months of dating this guy, I was like, Nah, this ain't for me. And mind you, I'm a Jamaican, Puerto Rican from Chicago, okay? And there's not a lot that I would take from people. I have a limit. So he got kicked to the curb and I stopped talking to him dry, just dry cut. I'm like, I'm not doing that. And then my mom is like, oh, you shouldn't be so mean. Let him off easy. And I'm like, no, there's no letting this person off easy. They got to go. There was too many things that I was just like, nah, this can't work for me. Uh-uh. I need to have dominion over my body. Like, the man don't control my body. No, because God brought me to this earth by myself. I was in my mother's womb alone. I was in her womb alone. She birthed me as a single child, and then I have siblings. All right. He wasn't attached to me when I was in the womb, so he don't have no parts of what's going on in my decision making. I can fill him in and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. What do you think about this? Or we can have conversations about things that we do together, but he don't get to decide for me. Like, I'm not retarded. So that person got kicked to the curb. So the one thing I would have done differently is had a little bit more discernment before things got so intimate. So that's something that we have to learn as women is like we got to be more observant of these people that we're allowing in our personal space. Okay? And why I'm saying that is because a lot of us are moving fast and not taking time to get to understand who we have in front of us, and then what are these red flags that we need to look out for to say, this person is not suitable for me. Okay? And it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to take your time and observe and change your mind. So we get into this rote behavior of, oh, I want to be romanced. He has to do he has to do these things for me. Um, he took me out to eat, so I need to go. Stop, 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 stop. You don't need to have sex with anybody. If you're horny, if you know that you're going to be aroused by whoever, you need to really take care of that before you start interacting with people so that you can see the people for who they are and not to fulfill your sexual appetite, because those are two different things. All right? You're supposed to already be taking care of your sexual appetite before you start going out on a date with somebody. And what that will do for you is, ooh, I got rid of that one. Ooh, I'm good. Let me go see who this person, and then go into it with the mind frame of saying, let me see who this person is and what they about. All right. So because we're not trained in that way, again, we get into these relationships, we get into these marriages with the wrong ideas, and we are subjecting ourselves to violence in some cases, not all the time. So there's things like the different types of abuse. You have emotional abuse, you have abuse with money, and you have physical abuse, and there's a few others. I just don't want to say the wrong thing. But there's all of those where we're getting into relationships and the man is the one that's bringing the money in, and then he's mad at you and decides that he's going to cut you off, and you don't have your own money. So women are supposed to have their own money. You don't get married to say I'm getting married so that um, I could I could be a sugar baby or whatever the hell. No, Don't do that. Or if you're doing that, you need to make sure you take some of that money and make an investment in yourself. Okay? Open a savings account, create a business, whatever you got to do. Invest in some real estate, something so that you have your own stream of income and your own bank account. All right? So, this entire idea of how marriage is a form of violence, in my opinion, especially for those of us who are not aware of the things and the qualities and the types of people we need to be associating ourselves with. All right? We see a little flashy car, a little money here and there, he look nice, and he got a fucked up attitude. But you don't see the attitude until way later. So now you have a lot of people talking about the narcissists and all this stuff. They're everywhere. And they're really good at getting women to be with them. So you have to be discerning. Take your time. There's things you can do, and and you have time. Okay, you don't have to rush. So what you can do, if you feel like you just need somebody because you want to be all booed up and stuff like that, get you a rose, get you a rabbit, get something. All right, take care of yourself at home. Don't depend on outside to take care of inside of you. All right, we're not doing that. You gotta have discernment. You have to have discernment, and you have to be choosy. So what I was saying before is that marriage system creates a man. Every man has a woman. That's not how it goes. Women are supposed to choose the most viable man. Okay, so even if there's less men than women, I don't know because I'm not the one counting, and who knows how good these people are at counting. I don't really believe that, but whatever. That that's the current census. Um, if that's the case, we still need to be choosy. All right, y'all don't need to just be picking any and everybody, and not all them babies need to be coming through because not all those DNAs need to be perpetuated like that. We don't need to keep certain DNAs going and going like that. There's some stuff that we need to just let go. All right. So y'all can click the link, pinknectar.life, and we got all your vibrators, all your lubes, all that kind of stuff, anything you want. If you don't see it on the website, all you got to do is send me a message and I'll get it for you. All right. If you want a yoni egg or a yoni wine, I can get that too. So, yes. So, that's the second area where I see a lot of violence. All right. So, the third one is when we don't teach our children, our young girls, and then even the boys should know about how our reproductive systems work. Okay? So, young girls should be educated. Like, we should just be having regular conversations about periods and breast development and body changes and all the stuff that comes with that. And then even have programs or things set up so that we can learn and initiate and have rites of passages for our girls. So that's something that we do at Sacred Goddess Temple is rites of passage for young girls so that they can understand the different transitions that they go through in their life. Peace. So yeah, when we don't know and we don't understand our menstrual cycle, we cannot be in full power and understanding of the power that we house. So a lot of us have different cycles. For one, sometimes it's 21 days, sometimes it's 35 days. Okay, so you're not really going to know that off the bat. It has to be an experience. But you should be aware that it can be any variation in between. And then you don't always have to turn to contraceptives to be a master at contraception. When women understand from a young age, when they understand the signs and the symptoms and the signals and the sensations that come with being in this woman body, they were more likely to protect themselves and again be choosy to understand how to plan their families. Okay, so if we're not aware, then we cannot plan, or we can't know what to do. So then what ends up happening, and then this gets right back connected to the medical system, is that we end up taking birth control, getting IUDs put in, taking shots, getting implants, getting our tubes tied, getting hysterectomies because we don't understand how our bodies work. And right now in the United States and actually in the Caribbean, um, abortions are partially illegal. So some places you can and some places you can't. Why is that for why is that for the government to control? Why is the government controlling how many children we're having? Why did we give up our power like that? There is a million and one herbs on this earth, y'all. And there are so many different herbal combinations that we can use on a regular basis as a contraceptive. And if we want to have children, we can use them for fertility. Okay, so it just depends. And then if you do get pregnant and you're not ready for that, you can use them for an abortion, a natural abortion. So you don't necessarily have to go and get a surgical procedure done. All right. So that's another form of violence when we're not fully educated about our sexuality and our reproductive systems, then we can be easily persuaded and taken advantage of. And then we end up having to rely on outside sources to care for our bodies. That's not divine design. That's not divine. All right. And then boys need to be aware of how the women's bodies operate as well so that they can have some type of respect and understanding. It's not a one-way street. All right. And it's not a battle of the sexes either. We're just in a position where we're having a lot of influences that are not natural, and that we're in a position of survival and defense. All right. So that's the third way that I feel that there's violence against our wombs. The last one is um, the idea of sex as a commodity. And I'm really thinking about how I say this so that I don't, uh, so that I say the right thing, so that I say something that's clear. But the idea that sex is a commodity and that women are obligated to or subjected to give up or have sex with people for money. All right. Now that's a deep that that's a deep long conversation, but to me it's a form of violence because women are very vulnerable in a lot of stages of our life, especially after divorce and having children. And then if we don't have certain skill sets, then it makes it really difficult for us to get jobs. You know, the job market is uneven. We don't have the same pay rates, and all types of stuff end up happening to where we might feel like, oh my God, how am I going to feed myself and my baby? Or how am I going to feed myself as a woman? I haven't finished school. I don't have a career. I don't have any real skills. What am I going to do? And a somewhat easy route is to go into prostitution or things surrounding that type of nature. And then the women are subjected to violence in many ways. I don't even have to name them. And then the idea that their vagina is a tool to make money in that way. All right, your vagina is a tool to make money, but in the way of harnessing energy and building up some energy in your energy field, not to keep allowing different types of deposits in the vagina. Okay, that's a lower down energy bracket. Even though both can make you money, one is more degrading than the other. All right. So I'm not saying, and in no way am I telling y'all what to do or where to go or whatever, but I just feel like those are forms of violence against our vaginas. Okay. So the fact that we are looked at as lesser than in society and our value is in certain places because of the way society views us. To me, that's a form of violence because it doesn't allow us to be in our natural state. It doesn't allow us to hone into our intuitive abilities or our creative abilities or our community building abilities because it's not lucrative. You're not going to be able to make money for real doing any of those. So yes, you can have a daycare, but the daycare setup, how is that going? Yes, you can go to work, but who gonna watch your baby? You gonna take your baby to daycare and then drain all your money into the daycare? Daycare is so expensive. I'm one of them people where I took off from work. I ended up quitting a job that I had because I wanted to spend more time with my third child. So this is when I had my second daughter. And I asked if I could have less hours so that I could spend more time with her. And they told me no, I would have to put in my resignation. So they gave me 6 weeks off, and I had to fight for that. And then I was like, wow, this 6 weeks went by so fast. And then they're like, oh, well. I'm like, what the hell is this? So I just quit the job. I'm like, forget y'all then. Fuck you. Because I'm very adamant about spending those times with my children. And then I didn't want to send her to no dirty daycare. Forget that. So if I was by myself, what would I have done? We were living in a 4 bedroom house. The rent was like over $1,000. I don't remember the price, but it was over $1,000 at the time. And of course we have to pay utilities and food. So if I didn't have somebody, where would I be? Back at my mama house? In a homeless shelter? Like, it's not adding up. And this is why women end up choosing things, lifestyles, and situations that they know good and well they're not supposed to be in, and they're living a suboptimal life. They're not happy. We do it all the time. All right. We don't want to go back to our mama house. We don't want to go back to our daddy house. Like, what is that? So, again, that to me is another form of violence. All right. When we have to be subjected to lifestyle, career, because prostitution and whatever else is a career, and practices that don't protect and uplift us. All right. So I hope this resonated with y'all. Drop a heart in the comments. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know y'all understand this. Make sure y'all share this with your people. Share it with your auntie, your uncle, your sister, cousin, friend, mama. Okay? Share it, y'all, because women need to be aware. We need to be aware of what's going on because the energy is heavy and we are very much misunderstanding our purpose and the strength and the power that we bring into this world. Okay? Both men and women have a place, but as a women's wellness coach, I have to let y'all know that you as a woman are very powerful and that there are a lot of strategic things in place to oppress you, to suppress you, and to make you think that something is wrong with you. All right? So there's things in place to oppress you, to suppress you, and make you think that something is wrong with you. Even down to the vaginal products that we use, y'all. They put chemicals in the pads, in the tampons, so that we can bleed more. How that look? That's violence. So that we can spend more money to buy more pads. What is that? I don't use pads, I don't use tampons. All right? I use a period underwear and I have a set. Let me count how many I have. I have like 6 period underwear, and then I also have a menstrual cup or a moon cup or a yoni cup or whatever you want to call it. But I don't even use the cup every single time. All right? So, ladies, y'all have to be aware there's things going on that we. All right? I'm going to give y'all one more because I see I'm only at the 51-minute mark. Oh, wait, it's 2 o'clock, ain't it? I'm going to give y'all one more. The vagina is stinky. The vagina is nasty. Your vagina smell like fish. Ooh, what's going on? Why it smell like that? Sometimes it's because of the man, and then sometimes it's because of the things that we're using around or in our vaginas. Okay? And then sometimes it's the food that we're eating. So you clean up those 3 things, your vagina will smell fresh like the ocean breeze, okay? Or sweet like a pineapple if that's what you're eating. All right, y'all. It don't have to be stinky and nasty. It really isn't. I'm talking so much, I didn't even drink water and my throat is scratching me. So, yes, all those perceptions and isms and schisms and all these things, vagina is not nasty. It's not supposed to hurt. Vagina is not supposed to be in pain. Your uterus, your womb is not supposed to be in pain at no time. Those are just signals. She's letting you know that something is wrong. All right? So we weren't here to be damned to hell. No, no, no. Excuse me. Oh my God. So, anyway, peace, y'all. Thank you. I'll be back next week. I'll let y'all know what we're going to talk about next week, but I will be back next week. Much love and light to you all. And thank you. Peace.